Ladies and gentlemen, boys or girls, you guys are in for a treat here because in today's video, we're going to be showcasing you guys a brand new RTA team that I actually created that has allowed me to climb 150 points and get myself back into the C3 ranks to hopefully get back with the Punisher finish here. So again, fam, if you guys are excited to see finally a different team that we normally showcase on our channel, show your support, like the video, subscribe to the channel, and of course hit the notification bell so you guys know when the next video drop. Now again, you guys have seen me for quite some times over the last season when it comes to my strat. My strat blossomed from Sean B's RTA video that he showcased teaching people RTA strategy in 2024. When he showed the Layla, Hagang, Tomoe comp, I realized, oh hey, I got all those units. I got a lot of CC control, harmful effect kind of units that would really find a lot of value of it with it, and I utilize it to climb up and get to a Punisher 1 finish in a previous season. Of course, once you get that decent season finish, you want to stick to that strategy, go through it. But as the months go on, people see that strategy. It is meta, and they figure out numerous ways to counter it. So it's really, really hard to get away with it. Now, moving forward, we connected on the side. Like, yeah, man, I got to try something different. And he was like, hey, play around with this unit in your comp. Play around with that. And I'm like, you know what, dude, it's just not enough for me. I got to like flip the script and do something completely crazy and see if I can make it work. And I believe that's what I did. Okay. So again, I'm not going to I don't really have a strategy, or I don't have a name for this kind of comp. I'm just going to say that this comp is built around two main fire support based units that provide mitigation for the party and a way of micromanaging who they're going to attack here. So the first unit that I know is going to surprise you is going to be Opilia. Opilia is definitely a fun unit that we've seen a couple of high-level people mess around with in previous seasons, and I've made her work for me, even though she's not a super fast unit as well. Her kit, without question, is absolutely amazing, and given the right strategy that I'm going to be showing you guys here in a little bit, I think this really does work the way I want it to work. So, Opilia, of course, Cry of Threat, skill 3. We got a heal, or sorry, we got a shield. We got the immunity, and we got the cry of threat, which obviously is very, very important. One of the things that I think people overlook is the fact that this skill is a 3-turn skill. Okay, 3-turn skill with a violent set is pretty disgusting, especially if you get a violent park in there. So we have the ability to focus the damage on a specific unit. And depending on what we utilize to either reduce cooldowns or get this unit to attack again or whatever the case may be, this basically can stay up 100% of the time. But here's the deal, right? If that's the main focus and that's one of the scary units that provide mitigation, what else are you putting in the mix to try to combat that or make them not use it? Or the unit that has been seen numerous times, another fire unit, super tanky, that has one of the best, honestly, one of the best skill 3s, I believe, is just absolutely amazing. So the unit that we're talking about, of course, is Alice, the Fire Hollyberry Cookie, who has that skill 3 that provides not really the defense buff, but the ability to reduce the damage that your allies take by 200% of your defense until the next turn starts. Of course, you guys are like, oh, if you guys remember previous times, like this skill was not really in a good place, but they changed it so that the you gain immunity to ability effects here, and the attack speed is lowered to 100 after the skill is casted. So it allows you to have this up for a very long time. And if you bring in a unit that forces him to leave this into play, for regardless of what kind of strategy they're doing, they're going to lose out on 1, 2, even 3 turns because they are so fast comparison to her attack speed at that skill 3. And she's able to provide mitigation, assuming that her defense stays up there, and you have no issues with that. So of course, the goal is to be first turn, be number 1. Not only do you want to have this super fast with a lot of defense, but you also want to have high resistance. You can see I'm lacking in one of those 3 counterparts here. Not having the resistance, so they can't put the defense up, is unfortunately hurting me. But the speed at which we have this unit at is pretty competitive at the speed that I'm at right now, or at the rank that I'm at right now. So I'm getting away with it, of course, with an additional speed lead to kind of go in line with this. So again, between these 2 units, the Opilia and Alice, they're doing quite a bit of work here to provide the mitigation. And sometimes I have both the units, sometimes I don't, but that's kind of the main mitigation ones to do it. So what am I doing to really mess with them, right? We're bringing in units that also have the counterattack combination alongside either CC, or some kind of, yeah, in addition to that, or some kind of, beneficial effect that provides a way of counterattacking. So the units that I'm talking about here, we got the Chandra, we got the Jingzai, we got Kinky somewhere hiding up in here. I gotta figure all this out. But the normal units that I throw in here, even first pick, is going to be Chandra. And Chandra, I'm playing around with a Swift set, not as fast as I want it to be, but we're playing around with a Swift set because we want to take advantage of its skill 3 and get the opportunity to get that skill 3 in there. If they don't have any immunity, get that slow buff in there. And we want to get the attack bar increased by 25%. Why is that? Because again, because we're sacrificing speed for RNG on units like Opilia, we really need that attack bar boost with Chandra in order for us to get the jump and get ourselves that protection that we need versus somebody's super faster comps here. Yeah. So again, between the actual slow, the attack bar, and then of course the hug, we got a lot of cool things going on here that provides us a little bit of value, right? Something like this is going to be perfect for the Opilia because we're putting that on the Opilia. When Opilia casts a cry threat, we're forcing the target on Opilia. We're able to get the counterattack from a unit like Chandra that not only strips with it, but it also brings in the, what's it called? It brings in the ability to stun, right? We do lose a little value because we're not using the despair set. We do use a little value because we don't have the additional turns that a lot of people would play around with when it comes to the violence set. But I do believe that when it comes to this particular strategy, I think the Swift thing is very important because if we don't have Alice to give us that first turn with the mitigation, this unit will follow through because they're not going out of the way to bandits as there are other, bigger threats in lined up. And we're getting a chance to get the attack bar increase because they think this is super slow. They think it's on a violence or something like that. We're getting the attack bar increase. We're getting Opilia to cut in, bring in the support, by the skill 3, and then we're able to get that mitigation we're looking for. Okay. Now, next up for the units that we're looking to bring in when it comes to just being annoying, but it comes to counterattack, is another unit that does literally the same thing that we were talking about when it comes to Higang, right? Or sorry, with regards to Chandra, right? We have the ability, this new ability that got recently buffed here, right? We have the incoming damage is decreased. We have the counterattacks that we've always had, but now the new thing about it, it literally does what Chandra does, which is removes a harmful effect, and then and then it goes hits it with a possible counterattack, right? So we got 2 different units that potentially can strip the opponent and provide a little bit of CC, depending on what we got going on, right? We got the hug from Chandra, we got the cry threat from Opilia. If this guy focuses down the Opilia, he got not 1 but 2 units coming at him if both of them are in the lineup to go ahead and essentially, like I said, provide some control, provide some stripping, and provide a little bit of damage here. And you guys are probably wondering, what are you talking about damage? Like, what are we talking about? Like, look at the way I got Jingzai built. Yes, his attack's a little bit low. I wish it was a little bit on the faster, a little bit on the higher side, but I utilize his passive to his passive with the damage reduction to take on to provide me additional value, right? We already know that Jingzai is absolutely annoying, but if you thought when you look at this lineup, there are other units out there that are a little bit scary. And so when you think about what Jingzai can do without the use of Cry Threat, his own personal ability, having that counterattack, you realize that he's obviously getting a lot of turns. He's fighting the strip, the CC, whatnot, but it's overall damage as well. That's the one thing we constantly, I feel like, underlook at this situation. We're like, okay, we generally make him tackly, we generally make him annoying when it comes to, you got the stripping, this and whatnot, but, if he's getting all these additional attacks, why not build him on a crit damage set? Maybe like a little hybrid, which is what I got going on right now. We got speed, crit damage, and attack with some HP substats. His defense is atrocious. His speed is way higher than you probably would think it'd do. But again, I'm utilizing this. I'm trying to set this up to make it a higher damage unit. Honestly, if I could sacrifice a little HP for attack, I would do it because the cry of threat forces the opponent to attack somebody else. The hugs, decrease the chance likelihood of them, focusing on Jingzai if I got, another target going on. So it's like he is literally set up in this comp to do a ton of work. And I feel like my particular rune set doesn't do this like strat enough a lot of value. I think we could there's so much more you could do with this if I had the right runes. But honestly, like I know it sounds kind of silly, but honestly, I would consider doing like a rage build with like crazy attack, crazy crit damage, because his passive is already going to provide that damage, reduction. But as you guys know, we love violences, we love proccing out of stuns. So because of the fact that I'm going to be slower than everybody else, I want to rely on a little bit of RNG in addition to what I'm trying to do to get the job done. But honestly, I probably will try this strat with a rage build to see how it works. But ultimately, that's why I have him in this setup. I have him to set up to do more damage. If we can do more damage with a rage build, why not, right? So again, I really like utilizing this unit. Again, it's not some unit that, everybody uses. They're normally generally using it to kind of counteract, fast teams or whatever like that. So generally speaking, these particular units that I've already showcased you right now, they're not really competitive. Is that the word? Or contested is the word here. So really happy about that. Okay, additional units to kind of get in line with this, alongside a unit like Jinzei, we can throw in something like a Diana in here. We're forcing the attack on the Opilia if it's in there. And if they, again, I'm always saying that they're going to have Opilia in there because generally Alice is going to be not going to be touched. But if Alice is led in there, it really doesn't matter who they attack. They're not doing any damage. So we're just waiting for them to go by so I can do some attacks. If the Diana is in there though, again, she's bringing in exactly what I have in the other three units. So we got the Chandra with a strip stun. We got the Jingzei with a strip stun. We got the Diana that has the ability to cycle through her skills and strip and stun and do damage, right? She can do it all, literally trying to, bring in what I want to do. It's just a really, really nasty combination. Like I said, that's why I said I pride myself at this setup because I don't really think like a lot of people, somebody may have tried this way back in the day. I don't think they did, but I think that like some people are like, hey, you know what? Like this could work. I mean, my runes are limiting me from being able to push higher, but man, if you were to strip all your runes, right, to make like the strongest, damage build Jingzei out there, the fastest Alice, the best well-rounded, Opilia with speed and violent runes and this and that, whatever. I think this is work, regardless if they're using single target damage or AoE. Like I think this could actually work. Okay. In addition to that, the other main unit that I utilize in this lineup is going to be Miles. Miles is one of those few units out there that can be tanky, can be fast, and can get value out of the beneficial effects that are provided from both parties, right? That value is going to allow this one to, have a lot more turns than most people out there because of the, how the mechanic works with regards to speed. But also, he's still doing what I want him to do, which is going to be doing strong damage regardless of what element I'm looking at. And again, he's bringing in that element that we're looking for when it comes to Chandra, to Diana, to Jingzei. All my single target units have the ability to strip. I think this is very important. This is crucial because regardless of what they can do, if we can't counterattack and provide a stun to kind of slow them down, then this is not going to really work as intended. Again, some other units that could be laid in here is going to be the Minato as well. Minato is just one of those units out there that has a crazy amount of damage that does not need to have no attack or anything to really, really shine, right? She's one of those units out there that we can get value out of her own personal cry of threat that can go ahead and, again, force the opponent to attack her. And if your Jingzei is in there, you're going to get some counterattacks to knock them down. If we got an AoE, and sorry, if we have a hug in there by Alice or by Chandra, put on her as well, we're going to get that additional counterattack as well. Mind you, again, this provides that counterattack with the stun. So again, we don't get that fresh defense break here. But if we do have like a hug utilized on somebody like Alice, keep in mind, guys, she is the one that's going to provide us that defense break that we're looking for the counterattack. So again, I hope everything's kind of like lining up. If I'm saying this correctly. There's a lot of other, again, units that I've been throwing around with here that have been working good. Another one heals Asharian. Asharian, again, disregard the runes because he's just kind of, like I said, the last pick if they taken all my units. But again, he has the ability to strip, provide protection. He has the ability to defense break. You guys are seeing what I'm talking about here. The strips, the harmful effects, a way of providing some kind of support. He can, we can steal the beneficial effects and can provide us with some additional support that allows them to do more work here. So again, to kind of put in perspective, I think this combination is really, really good. Again, we have random units that get thrown in here. The Oliver for Speedleys, the Ethna or Oliver or Vanessa for Speedleys support, stripping, defense break from the Vanessa. We have the Ethna that is pretty standard unit. We don't need any, a lot of units that you already know about that don't need any introduction, right? But the main core, right, is going to be the Chandra, the Alice, the Opilia, the Jingze. Those 4 units are pretty disgusting. And like I said, regardless if they let me only have one of the 2 damage reduction units or support units there, we still have numerous counterattacks to slow down the opponent when they do whatever attack there is they're going to do. Sure, there's still the overwhelmingly strong combinations that we just can't do anything if they just have ridiculously strong, overpowered LD5 units, right? I'm not going to do any, I'm not going to hold up against a Veronica. I'm not going to hold up against a Gianna if I don't have a gang or, a Josephine in there. Yeah, there's just some units out there that I cannot count, but that's kind of, everywhere you look at across the board. So this particular comp is really good. I really like it. I just realized that, after trying this numerous times, I realized that it actually, I think it can work. How far can I take it? Will be the case here. So what I'm going to do for you to finish off this video is I'm going to show you guys one match and one match alone that started at the very low of the rank, just so you can see this one. You guys are like, oh my God, Childish, we've already talked about this for 20 minutes. I don't want to make this video super long. I will say this though, I'm literally going to be making a part 2 of this video to showcase the last 15 to 20 of the matches, so you can take this first video, take the analysis that I've kind of given to you, and then put it in perspective when you see multiple matches. I'm going to give you my gameplay, my feedback, but I cannot talk about these units without really showcasing one match here. So again, I know that some of the haters or somebody will say, you know what, Childish, this is only working because you're super low. I think that yes, being a little bit lower, this obviously has made things a little bit easier, but I do think that my ability to climb higher again is limited by my obviously rune quality, which a lot of people have better on, that they could try something like this, and it's also limited by my just my overall ability to draft effectively, and pivot the right way. So let me go ahead and, like I said, I'm going to go ahead and go to my particular replays here if I can. So we're going to take a look at one that we got all the way on the bottom here, which is going to be the first one. So again, here we go. This one here, you'll just kind of notice right out of the gate that we did not incorporate Alice to the spot. As you guys can see, when it comes to the units that he utilized, I felt like both Alice and Opilia was not needed. He would have probably let me have both, and we can get away with quite a bit of extra CC strip and damage if I went with like an Ethna there, ban the fire unit versus that. Now the biggest concern, without question, is gonna be the Laura, right? Because Laura has that ability to bring in that CC. Obviously, if his gang has the spare set, which it should, he's going to bring in the CC as well. But I was concerned about the Laura initially. Excuse me, I was concerned about his damage initially, and then I realized his damage can't do anything when Alice has it. So you'll notice that over this time here, like I'll eventually switch over to the Laura here. Because I do not want to get controlled and do it. But like I said before, even if he crowd controls me, right, it means absolutely nothing because all the additional turns that it can have by everybody doing whatever, he can't do anything about it because we have the damage reduction from Alice, right? I think that it was kind of a bold move, Cotton, by bringing in that, because he could have gotten rid of the Alice, and we could have been just stuck with what we had there. But luckily for us, we brought in, units that would really make his life a little bit more, disgusted, toxic, as I may say. And I think that, it worked out pretty good here. Again, one thing that I probably didn't mention that I neglected to mention that's still really good. Alice does brings in that hug effect to include a damage reduction and the stuns from her skill 2 there. So it is really good. Again, right now we do have that damage reduction and cooldown, but I think because of the fact that we kind of caught the advantage and was able to, like, basically knock his lower down, he lost a little bit of mitigation, he lost a little bit of control, so he's basically relying upon doing that work. Okay, so the next one on the list is actually a good friend of mine, Mewtwo here. We went up against her with our combination, and we had some fun. I just want to show you guys the units so you can kind of get an idea of what's kind of going on. And then I'll kind of explain, why I did the things that I did so you guys can see, where we went from her. So taking a look at the setup here, we're going to be bringing in our standard unit, the first pick. Chandra's generally the first pick that I go for. And then I move into the Opilia plus, 1. I went with the speed lead because I really wanted to guarantee that first turn. He's obviously going for turn 1 damage, whatever. So I put in Leo in an effort for him to ban it, right? So I can have the first turn with Alice, but he read it beautifully. And so Leo's left in there, but it still hurts him because I think, I thought, maybe I might be off there, but I thought Han was on, speed scaler. So as you guys can see, it really didn't matter. We were able to get the jump on him, and the cry of threat has basically prevented him from doing what it is he wants to do. Now, I'm not going to lie. I'm extremely scared about this one, which is why, Oliver is a unit that's in this lineup here, because we have the Shizuka here that was going to get a turn for skill 3, and she was just, luckily denied there. Probably could have controlled her early on. I don't know if I was using Oliver to control attack bars somebody else there. I must have missed that, but that's just one of those scenarios where if Shizuka landed, I would give this guy the win here, because once Shizuka pops off with all the beneficial effects that I've provided on my team, like, there's just nothing really I can do. But as you guys can see, I'm trying to just work units down one by one. Probably should have kept the focus on the Shizuka since she's probably the biggest, like, threat. But yeah, I went ahead and took away his ability to strip and then just utilize Oliver to kind of keep on resetting. And it worked pretty good. Obviously, we got the win on there. We got pretty lucky. But again, those two comps, or those two teams, are just a couple of things that I've done with regards to the setup here. And like I said, in the next video, I'm going to show you guys probably about 10 matches here, at least, so you guys can see some of the different combinations that happen. Or the different types of team that I saw, and then what, how to play it out, because you're going to see some people's different strategies, and you'll realize, like, oh, hey, yeah, this is different, but this is what I did. So yeah, you guys can get to see how it all works out. But anyways, fam, that's going to be it for the video. Sorry that it took, whatever it is, 20-25 minutes. I wanted to showcase the actual, like I said, more of the gameplay on this one. But if I did, it's going to be like a 40-minute video, and you guys on YouTube know you don't like no 40-minute videos. So again, stay tuned. The next video, part 2, is going to be coming out literally on the same day. I'll have it drop, in a couple of hours from now, so you guys know what's kind of going on. And then, hopefully you guys enjoyed. If you did, don't forget, like I said, like, subscribe, hit the notification bell so you guys know when the next video drops. Okay, take care, guys. We'll see you next one.